Okay, guys, let's try this again. Not too certain what happened, but either way. So, for those who've never caught me live before, my name is Jewel, and I am a grateful recovering addict. I will celebrate 9 years clean in August this year. I am gonna go live with my brother-in-law Joe. There he is. Just for today, which is sharing our gratitude. Right, people, while Joe gets going. There you are. I guess I mean I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just because I had the hotspot on and then turned it off or what. So I'm just not gonna do that this time. Miss Patty, I got your
All
message
right.
by the way.
Yeah, you were sucking up too much of your shit with the hotspot. You don't need to do that. I can share it out.
Well, I had turned it off, so I don't understand why I did that. I don't know.
You know this shit's touchy.
Yeah,
Can't
sometimes
be
it is.
doing a whole.
Sometimes it is. I know.
All right, come on, let's go.
All right, sharing our gratitude. My gratitude speaks when I care, and when I share with others the NA way. Gratitude prayer. The longer we stay clean, the more we experience feelings of gratitude for our recovery. These feelings of gratitude aren't limited to particular gifts like new friends or the ability to be employed. More frequently, they arise from the overall sense of joy we feel in our new lives. These feelings are enhanced by our certainty of the course our lives would have taken if it weren't for the miracle we've experienced in Narcotics Anonymous. These feelings are so all-encompassing, so wondrous, sometimes so overwhelming, that we often can't find words for them. We sometimes openly weep with happiness while sharing in a meeting, yet we grope for words to express what we're feeling. We want so badly to convey to newcomers the gratitude we feel, but it seems that our language lacks the superlatives to describe it. When we share with tears in our eyes, when we choke up and can't talk at all, these are the times when our gratitude speaks most clearly. We share our gratitude directly from our hearts, with their hearts. Others hear and understand. Our gratitude speaks eloquently through our words, though our words may not. Just for today, my gratitude has a voice of its own. When it speaks, the heart understands. Today, I will share my gratitude with others, whether I can find the words or not. You're still there.
I'm still
Last
here.
time, last time when I finished, I had no idea that anything had happened, and I looked up and I was like, "Oh, what happened? Where did Joe go?"
Yeah, it like ended the video. Your shit was all choppy the whole entire time. So,
Stupid.
all right, you want to go first? Go ahead. You start.
Well, I I don't know if it's directly to this, but I was last year on May 2nd, I had got up and I had read the Just for Today, like we did yesterday, which was um, just maybe the spiritual principles I hear spoken of in NA might work for me. I'm willing at least to open my mind to the possibility. So I had got up and I had read the Just for Today last year on May 2nd, and I got off and I called your mom. She didn't answer, but I just thought, it was something that she was doing something, or maybe she wasn't up yet, or whatever the case was. I watched the video last night, and as I watched it, it just, I don't know, it just overtook me because I had no idea when I got off of that live video what fresh hell awaited for me, you know? Um, and then I remembered doing the one on May 3rd that I think I'm pretty sure I did it by myself last year because you and I didn't start doing lives together until October. Um, and I think I did really well last year. I should have rewatched it this morning, the one I did on May 3rd last year. Um, because this one really, I mean, it was just a perfect tribute to your mom because gratitude was something that she experienced and that she had all the time. I mean, she was literally so grateful for everything, for every person she knew, for everything that had ever been given to her, or any gift that had been given to her, or um, whatever it was. I think that she taught me how to be grateful because that wasn't something that was necessarily taught to me before. Like, I was always told to say please and thank you and things like that, but I don't know, your mom just her gratitude was just so different than anybody else's. It just really it always opened my eyes. So I wasn't ready to go first, Joe. I always like to make you go first.
Okay. Well, I'll start by saying, you know, as recovering addicts or alcoholics or whatever you are, um, every day that you're sober or you're clean is a day to be thankful, to be grateful. We talk a lot about slowing down and soaking in the moment. Um, and I talked about I've been talking about for a couple days on here. I've been talking about um, writing down lists and positivity and writing down things you like about yourself and writing down things you want to accomplish. And I've been talking a lot about the self speech and the power in your words and your thoughts. And the same thing applies. We make lists of things that we're grateful for, and we kind of go back and forth about the things that we're grateful for sometimes, because sometimes you get so caught up in the moment. um you might feel like you're not making proper progress in your life, and you might feel like life is just getting stale or stagnant, and you might get so comfortable in your adjustment and recovery that now you've become unsatisfied with where you're at in life, and you've forgotten about where you came from and all the things you went through, because it's kind of so far back in your mind, and now you're just kind of like getting to that phase where you're annoyed and you're unsatisfied with where you are in life. And every once in a while you need to just slow down and um, write down some of the things that you're grateful for. Sometimes me and my brother, we don't necessarily do that, but we'll sometimes get down the spiral where we'll talk about like all the shit we did back in the day, and all the crazy things that we went through, and all the crazy things that we did in our life. And it kind of makes you, it does the opposite for me now. There was a point in time where I would miss that, but now I'm so glad that I'm away from that. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful that I'm not living like that, and that I don't have to deal with none of that shit anymore. Um, and it's I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my brother, my nephews, my god. I'm grateful for everybody. My goddaughters, all my friends, my brothers. I'm grateful for everybody. Um, and I'm not just grateful for the people in my life, but I'm grateful for the person that I can be in their lives today, because I'm not drinking anymore and I'm sober. Um, I'm grateful that I can be that person that they love and they trust and they can count on and they're not afraid of, and you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm always grateful. I'm grateful because I know it could always be worse. You
Right.
know, um, every day I get in my car and I start my car and I drive somewhere without having to look over my shoulder, I'm grateful.
Right.
Um, so there's a lot to be grateful for in life. Even if it's just the small things. And I'm not saying that you got to be complacent, because I don't believe in complacency at all. I don't think you should ever just sit still in your life. There's always something you can do to better yourself and to better your life. But at the same time, you got to try to make sure you're mixing in the gratitude, and that you're staying humble and you're staying grateful in your recovery and the things that you've accomplished so far. Um, you flash forward, as let's say you got 6 months clean or you got 6 months sober. You could have been dead 5 months ago.
Right.
That's something to be grateful for. You could be in jail. That's something to be grateful for. Um, you could be alienated from all your family members, and let's say in 6 months' time you're starting to get some of them relationships back. That's something you can be grateful for. You can be grateful for your health. You can be grateful for uh, that clean and sober glow that you have. Um, and there's just so many different things that you can be grateful for. And I think sometimes in recovery, um, and I try my best not to do this. We've done numerous lives, and I don't think you guys have seen me do this very much. but rarely. I try not to do it at all, actually. Um, but sometimes in meetings, or in NA meetings or AA meetings, um, I feel like a lot of times they don't really concentrate on the gratitude. They don't really concentrate on the positivity or the success. Um, they like to dig too deep into the past, and um, they like to focus on, almost telling all their drunk nights and their binges and their crazy nights.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that's why a lot of people don't go to meetings. That's
Mhm.
why I don't really like going either.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like going because I don't want to listen to a guy get up and talk about all the shit he did when he was drunk, and he's up there laughing about the shit like he had such a good time, and I'm like, you're really sending a bad message to the young people that's in here, because they're gonna be like, shit, he seems like he's having a good time just telling the fucking story. Fuck
Right.
this. I'm getting fucked up when I leave here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, and I feel like we got to be careful. We got to kind of like tread that line very carefully, where yes, we're giving you a glimpse into our past and all the horror stories, but make sure we're not telling it from a funny standpoint, or that we're having such a good time telling the story that
We're
we're
missing the message.
neglecting. Yeah, that we're neglecting the other side of it, which is the most important, and that's the recovery. That's all the shit you need to be doing afterwards, and all the things you've gained, and everything you've learned, and everything you've gotten from being sober and being clean. Um, so I just want everybody to keep that in mind. If you're meeting goers, and you share, just keep that in mind. I feel like a lot of times, meetings can become pissing contests where,
Yeah.
it's like who had the who had the craziest stories, and it's like, man, that's all fucking subjective. It's
Right.
all, it's who's to say what? Who cares? You know what I
Mm.
mean? You're here now. You're sober, you're clean, you're in this room now. So that shit's dead and gone. Let's focus on how we can motivate newcomers, and how we can motivate people, and how we can show them the good side, because 99.9% of the people who are in the room are on the fence.
Right.
They're in that room for a reason, because they can't do it by themselves. They're in that room for a reason, because they need words of encouragement, and they need words of wisdom. They know what the street life is like. They already lived it. You don't got to go in there and tell that story. Everybody in that room's had that story. You know what I mean? So I like to focus on the positivity, and I like to focus on being grateful. Um, I will tell some stories from now and then, but I always tell about what I lost,
Right.
and you don't see a smile on my face about it, because there's nothing to smile about it. When you've pissed away all your opportunities, because I talked about before, no matter how bad your start was, or no matter how hard your life was, you're no different than the man standing next to you. You're no different than anybody else. We've all been given opportunities to succeed in life. They might not be equal, but we've all had an opportunity. Somewhere in life, we've all had a chance. Um, we all had the ability to apply ourselves in high school and get good grades and go to a college. We all had the opportunity to go learn a trade and get a good job. We've all had those opportunities. Those opportunities are still sitting there. We all have opportunities. We all have opportunities to build our own businesses. We all have opportunities. Um, if you were an athlete, you had an opportunity to follow through with your sports and prioritize your sports, and become a successful high school athlete, then a collegiate athlete, maybe go pro. We all had these opportunities. Um, and I've seen a lot of people piss away good opportunities through drugs and alcohol. And then when they get sober, it's like they feel like they missed the boat, but you didn't miss the boat. It's never too late. And just try, instead of thinking about, how hard it's going to be for you, think about how grateful you are,
To
that you have
have the
the opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah, because opportunities don't just disappear. There's a new opportunity waiting for you right around the corner. You just got to go find it.
Yeah.
There's opportunities everywhere in life. We all have them. Um, and you just have to make the most out of your life, and try to be grateful, and it'll keep you grounded and keep you focused on what you're trying to do with your future, and what you're trying to do in the present. Don't worry so much about the past. Um, and we talked about this yesterday. I talk about this all the time. Um, your past is just there for a lesson. You learn the lesson, so move on. Fuck it. Don't keep talking about it. Don't keep worrying about it. That shit's dead and gone. Um, I don't see personally anything to gain from, digging up your past all the time. Because for a lot of us, that's why we use or we drink in the first place. Because of things that haunt us from our past and things that we did and things that was done to us. Um, but we need to not focus on that. We need to just focus on the here and the now and what we're grateful for. And like I said, write that list out. Every day, write a list of some things you're grateful for, even if it gets repetitive. You're practicing. You have to practice. Just like you trained yourself to be an addict, you got to train yourself to be a productive human being afterwards in recovery.
Yeah.
And it's going to be different. It's going to be different tools and different things you have to do, like writing down things you like about yourself and reading them, writing down things you want to accomplish and how you think you can go about it, and giving yourself a checklist and check them off as you go so you can see your progress. Writing down things that you're grateful for. All that shit it's good information, and it's good practice that you can use in your recovery to give you a better foundation, because ultimately your foundation is all up to you. It's your foundation. That means you have to build it. If
Yeah.
it's built by somebody else, it probably won't last. You got to build it yourself, because then you'll appreciate it, and you'll get more out of it. So just keep that in mind and try those things. I'm not just saying it to say it. Try it. It's not gonna hurt anything. Um, Once you get through, your step work and all that, or however you're going about your recovery, just try those things, um, and see what it does for your life.
Can you see comments, Joe? If anybody's commenting?
Yeah, I sure can.
Oh, I can't. So, if people are commenting, I can't see any of them for some reason. I guess
So
my
I gotta,
phone's being stupid today.
so I gotta
Um,
be the host.
I also wanted to say, and I forgot this. I woke up in a pissy mood. Like I got up in a really bad mood. So, um, reading this was like one of those things that I just needed to do, even though I really didn't want to do it because I was ready to text you this morning and be like, well, I got stuff to do, you know? Um, but I wanted to say last night, remember last week I went and met with the two girls,
Yeah,
the niece. The aunt texted me last night and told me that the niece checked herself in a detox yesterday. So I am
it's
very
good.
grateful for that. Yeah. Her plan is to do the detox. She asked her aunt to come get her car from detox, which her aunt I think might have been a little frustrated from it, but I'm like, go get her car. Like if she's asking you to come get her car, I feel like she's afraid that if she knows her car's sitting outside, she can just easily go get in it and leave. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it. So I told her I was like, I would go get it for one. And I asked her if she knew, like she told her that she was going to go to a treatment program afterwards. And I asked her if she knew where she was going, and she said that the detox center would give her some different options. Um, she's over in Delaware. I'm hoping she'll come to Maryland, just because she did a lot of her damage is done in Delaware. So for me, I think that she would have a new, clean environment, a new, change of scenery, by coming to Maryland. So I'm hoping that's what she does, but I don't know yet. But when her aunt texted me that last night, I was just so tickled and so excited because I know the last 2 weeks haven't gone the way her aunt was hoping they would go. Um, but to me, this is the sign that we're moving in the right direction, because she was honest with her aunt and told her aunt she had been using. Um, and I wasn't certain, like when I met her, like I felt like she might have been, but it was the first time I had met her, so I didn't want to just assume, you know what I mean? Um, so either way, so I'm just really tickled that she took it upon herself to check herself in a detox yesterday. Um, and so for today, I am grateful for that.
I Yeah, I mean, that's
It's a
that's what
big
this is
deal.
all about. It's like not just being vigilant on the videos and helping people, to relay messages, but it's important that we actually are active in our communities and we help people physically as well.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see you making progress in that, and I'm grateful for you. You know.
You know, I was nervous. Like I was excited to go sit down with her, but then like that day I was nervous because it was really the first time I've ever gone and spoke to somebody, you know, like one on one in trying to, you know, explain to them like you're worth recovery. And I feel like that's a big problem we have as addicts is that we don't think we deserve it. You know, we don't think that we go in, a lot of times I feel like we go in to treatment or detox or whatever it is that we decide to do first because we know that our family deserves it. You know, that our family deserves us to be clean. And I feel like that's a big barrier a lot of us have to get over is the fact that we deserve it too. You know, there was a young lady that posted in the group yesterday that she might be pregnant and she was using, and she had another child and she said she had quit, she had got herself clean when she was pregnant with the last one, but it was before she got on the hard drugs. And I didn't go into specifics with her. I just, you know, my comment was one, to seek medical advice because nobody commenting on this thread is a physician or, you know, any kind of doctor or anything like that. And two, you know, whether she ended up being pregnant or not, to get help. And my comment was, you deserve this life. You deserve recovery. We all do, you know? It's easier for us to see it because we have clean time under our belt because we've already, you know, we've already taken steps towards this better life. Um, so I just, you know, I just really hope that she gets some help. And I've been trying to comment more on the posts and stuff in the groups because it can be a lot because there's a lot of people. Like the one group, the clean and sober group, I saw, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but they're up to like 50,000 members. That's a lot of
Yeah.
people. Like Russell says, that's a lot of poop. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. No, you said it right the first time. I just kind of pick and choose like I kind of pick and choose who I want to interact with as far as a post is
Well,
concerned.
and I think you have to really because like there was another post I was gonna comment on, and this girl had put up a picture of two of her exes, I guess, that had supposedly gotten together. And she was like, you know, why would they send me this picture? Blah blah blah. Come to find out, she ended up. I didn't comment on it because I thought that's too messy for me. Um, but she ended up deleting the post, and I should have known because she posted the same exact post in like four different groups. But somebody commented later and said that the couple that had sent the picture didn't send the picture. It was a picture she had taken off of their Facebook page, for one. And for two, they had been asking her to leave them alone, and she wasn't doing it. Um, so I was really, so I mean, that's just a prime example of picking and choosing what you're going to comment on because not everybody in the group is really there for recovery. Like some of them are there to stir the pot, some of them are there just to be trolls, you know, so you have to really watch what you comment on and who you say what to. And um, I was looking for, you said about foundation, and there is a just for today that I had read with your mom about foundation. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I put this phone down for a second. My phone's dying. I forgot to charge it last night, so it's on the charger. So give me just a second.
And while she's flipping through that, we talk about getting clean and sober for yourself, and that's why I talk about writing that gratitude list, writing down a list of things that you like about yourself, because as addicts and alcoholics, we lower our standards, and we lower our what we're willing to deal with and all of that, and we our vision of ourselves becomes pretty dark. The way we see ourselves becomes twisted up.
Mhm.
We have no self value or self worth. So when you get into recovery, you have to retrain yourself to understand that I am worthy, and I do deserve a good life. And just because I made some mistakes and I made some bad choices and I went down a wrong turn somewhere, it doesn't mean that I'm no longer worthy to live a good life. Redemption is a real thing. You can redeem yourself,
Yeah.
um, but you need to make sure that you're seeking redemption for you. You're not seeking redemption for the approval of the crowd, or you're not seeking redemption to gain something out of it. You're just doing it specifically for yourself because you want to redeem yourself. You want to reinstill your self value and your self worth, and um, retrain your mind and retrain the way you perceive yourself when you look in the mirror. That I am a beautiful person and I am deserving of a good life, and I do have good in me and I do have potential and all of this. And it's not thrown away because you had a bad year or a bad 10 years or a bad 20 years or a bad 5 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You always have a chance. As human beings, we're a powerful species and we have the chance to right wrongs just in a day. There's a lot of things you can accomplish in 24 hours if you make the most of it. But you have to make sure that your mentality is on straight, and you have to make sure that the way you look at yourself is on right. Um, and that's something that took me a hard. It took me a long time because, like I talked about with, when I was drinking, um, I didn't really give a fuck about anything, and when I was drinking, I started to chase the life more than I started chasing the bottle. It was like I liked feeling like that. I liked not caring about nothing. I liked being a bad person. I liked, um, you know, feeding the evil side of who you can be and all the
Right.
things that you can do. And you don't have to act with conscience. You can just do whatever you want. And it's enticing. You know what I'm saying? It's enticing. That's why entertainment preys on that, and it's in
Yeah.
our entertainment and the movies that we watch, it's in the music that we listen to because it's enticing for whatever reason. Why I don't know, but it is. So when you get clean and sober, you have to start to feed that good side of yourself. You have to understand that going down that pathway and living that life, it might be entertaining and it might be exciting for a season, but it's not going to be exciting and entertaining for long because eventually you're going to get a lot of consequences living that lifestyle. So just keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so this one is from November 22nd. Foundation first. As we begin to function in society, our creative freedom helps us sort our priorities and do the basic things first. Basic text, page 86. No sooner do we get clean than some of us begin putting other priorities ahead of our recovery. Careers, families, relationships, all these are part of the life we've sorry. All these are a part of the life we find once we've laid the foundation of our recovery. But we can't build a stable life for ourselves before we do the hard, basic work of laying our recovery foundation. Like a house built on sand, such a life will be shaky at best. Before we begin putting all our attention to rebuilding the detailed framework of our lives, we need to lay our foundation. We acknowledge first that we don't yet have a foundation, that our addiction has made our lives utterly unmanageable. Then, with the help of a sponsor and our home group, we find faith in a power strong enough to help us prepare the ground of our new lives. We clear the wreckage from the site upon which we will build our future. Finally, we develop a deep, working familiarity with the principles we will practice in our continuing affairs. Honest self-examination, reliance upon our higher power's guidance and strength, and service to others. Once our foundation is prepared, then we can go full steam ahead to put our new lives together. But first we must ask ourselves if our foundation is secure. For without our foundation, nothing we build can stand for long. Just for today, I will take care to lay a secure foundation for my recovery. Upon such a foundation, I can build for a lifetime in recovery. Now, when your mom was in the hospital, um, I don't know, like a week, maybe 10 days before she had passed, she had made a post about how grateful she was for the foundation she had made this time. Um, she had a group of women that supported her. She had a group of women who were basically by her side. If she needed anything in that hospital, they were there. I mean, they even snuck her out to smoke, which was a really funny story, and I'll never forget it. But I mean, that's just what she had done. And I remember her, how grateful she was that she had built that foundation this time, you know? Um, so I think it's really important. And when you brought it up, I was like, oh, I have to find it because I knew it would be in the book from October to December. So I knew it wouldn't take me long to find it because it's only like 60 pages to flip through. Um, but it was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, and when you start to move into recovery, um, your foundation, it has to be built by you, but you'll find as you know, you go through the journey of recovery that you start to build a foundation of good people as well. People
Yeah.
that see you trying hard and see the change in you, and um they're more willing to stick their necks out for you and help you
Yeah.
once they see that you're doing good long enough. And that foundation can help open a lot of doors that would probably never be open for you when you were using or when you were drinking. So just doors open up. You gotta look for them. You gotta find them. Um,
Absolutely.
and so I'm gonna skim through some comments before we wrap this up. Um,
Oh, yeah, because I can't see any of them.
okay, let's go here. Heidi says, "I'm grateful to be able to afford this phone to watch your beautiful faces, bring awareness to people." Patty says,
Oh, Heidi.
"Gratitude changes the way we look at the world, which is very true."
Yeah.
Uh, let's find some other. Nicole says, "Thank you both for all you do." Joelle Jackson says, "Hi, family." And she says, "I'm so happy you guys know to value yourself," which is when she made the comment. So that's what it was referring to. Being numb is addictive as well, which it is. Um, and that's something you pick up the more you use and the more you drink. You start to chase that lifestyle, and the high is like kind of not the same. The buzz is not the same, but you're still in it for the lifestyle. You're still in it for the chase. You're still in it for all the things that come with it because now that's who you become. Heather says that today I'm grateful for you boys, the amazing men, husbands, fathers, brothers, and friends you have become, and the awesome family you have created with the great women that you choose.
Oh.
Things that would not be possible. Um, you know, just a little piece about me is I've always been really good with children. I've always liked children. I've always had a deep connection with children, and um, you know, me being me, most people probably thought I would have had kids 10 years ago. I would have had kids long, long time, but I never did because I took it really serious, and I knew I wasn't ready for it. I knew that I was not ready to be a good influence. I was basically choosing my lifestyle with drinking and hanging out and all the stupid shit I was doing. I was choosing that over creating a life and passing down my name and passing down my legacy because I felt like I didn't have a good legacy to pass down. I didn't have anything to give. Um, so now that's all possible. That's the number one thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for that. Other than my health and my sanity, I'm grateful most that I'm able to be that now. I would have never been able to do that before. Um, so that's the most. That's what I'm grateful for most. To be able to have a daughter that I know I feel good about how I'm treating her. I know I feel good about the father that I'm being, and it's without a doubt. Nobody can tell me any different. It's something that I know for a fact. It's not. Uh,
Watching, for most people probably watching this video, I've never seen you interact with your daughter. Um, I knew that, first off, I knew that you guys were both going to be amazing parents because of how, one, the both of you dealt with Matthew, you know, when we first came into the picture, and, you know, watching you guys interact with Russell. Um, I think Russell is kind of what connected me and Shira, honestly, because she never really did like me, even though she'll tell you now she doesn't like me. But um, watching you with Leanna has been something that I never thought I would see because, you know, with the boys, you're rough because boys are rough. But to see you stop and be with Leanna, it's going to make me cry because it is just like, I was watching that video that Shira sent last night of you feeding her and her being all, no, no. And it's just a beautiful thing because she softens you in a way that I didn't expect to ever see. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, man, it's like I was glad I had a daughter. I really did want a daughter because I knew that was what I needed. If I had a son, you know, it is what it is, but I really wanted a daughter because um I needed that. I needed something to chill me out. I needed something that would calm me down.
That
And
was,
having
I
a
think
daughter,
she softened you. She really did. I mean, not that you're like a hard ass person 24/7, but she softens you around the edges. And it's even Josh. I mean, it's just, oh, it's gonna make me cry because she changed everything. She came in and changed everything for everybody. So I miss her terribly.
yeah, it changed. It I don't know. It changed me. It changed a lot. And it was in the, I remember calling mom when I was at the hospital when we first had Leona, and um I don't know. It was like I stepped outside to go smoke, and it was like this, like the sun was brighter, the air was crisp. It just
Yeah,
everything seemed better. You know what I mean? Everything
yeah,
changed. It was hard to explain. I know probably parents all understand what I'm talking about, but it's like it was like instant life change. I didn't understand. I didn't think it would be like that, but it was. You know,
yeah,
and the emotions are not describable. Like how I felt once
right.
everything calmed down, and um you know, Shire was doing good and they were in the hospital just kind of chilling. And I went outside to call mom and I was like, you know, you're right. When mom told me that, you know, you don't want to have a kid. She told me all these years, you don't want to have a kid because you said you're not ready. But having a kid could be exactly what you need. It could be exactly what you really want, that you're longing for, that you're chasing, but you're not getting.
Right.
And she was absolutely right. You know, I thought she was crazy. Like, nothing's gonna change just because I have a kid. It's not gonna instantly change who I am, but it did. It really did. It's hard to explain, but it did,
I
and I'm
I
grateful
really
for that.
think, she was I didn't think that you guys were gonna have kids. Like I didn't know that it would actually happen. Um and I don't, not for any like particular reason, just it wasn't something that we generally conversated about, but I feel like Leanna was that missing piece that we all needed. And I feel like when you guys have the new baby, I'll probably say the same thing about the new baby. I'll be like, "Oh my God, this is exactly what we needed." Um, but she really was. So,
I told Tyra I didn't want to have any more kids because I was afraid that I would, like, you know what I mean? Like it was gonna be hard to not give Leona all my attention.
well, she had said to me the other day, since her sister's been gone, about, you guys trying to adjust to two kids, and then she sent me the video of Leanna running around the birthing center yesterday. And you were holding Georgie, and Leanna was just, being Leanna. And I said to her, I said, "Well, it looks like you two are adjusting to two kids just fine." So,
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all, any parents that have multiple children, y'all are fucking nuts. One kid is the way to go. Um, it's manageable. Like I'm not gonna say I can't do it, but um, it is so fucking time consuming.
it is.
So
It's
to
a lot.
all you parents, I've always had respect for single moms, but even if your man's there all the time, any parents that hold down two kids, especially young ones, um,
Yeah.
big
'Cause
ups. We should have waited. We should have waited till we were like 40 to have the second one. So
No, no, you should not have.
kind of most grown and out of the way. Cause this shit, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how she's gonna interact with the new baby. I mean, I know that she does well with Georgie, but I also heard that from time to time she likes to make it known that she's still here. So I'm really excited to see how she's gonna handle new baby and Georgie.
Yeah, she's. I already see the traits in her about wanting all the attention because she'll like throw herself out on the floor and shit just because. So
Well, it's been her world, for the last 2 years, it's been all about her. And, with Matthew and Russell, when we had Russell, Matthew was 3.5, so he was almost 4. So he was, potty trained and could basically, do a lot of things by himself. So it was, I think, a little easier than what it might be for you two. But I mean, you two are amazing parents, so it'll be an adjustment. But once you get in the swing of things, you guys are gonna be fine. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. I mean Georgie, if the new baby is like Georgie, it probably won't be too bad because Georgie is just kind of, I don't know. Like I always tell people, like the infants are easy, man, because they don't do anything. They just
Right, they
eat and
sleep
sleep.
and eat and
Pretty
poop.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and if and his cry, like Layana was loud as shit, man. So when she cried, you had to react because you'd want to fucking blow your brains out because she's vocal. She's a really loud child. But Georgie, when he cry, I call him a kitten. I always call him kitten because when he cries, he sounds like a little kitten. I'm like, man, you gotta speak up around here. If that's the best you got, you gonna get left to the side, bro. I'm telling you.
Ooh. Okay. Let's do shameless plugs.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so for those who are local to Maryland, we are hosting an event in August in Chestertown on the 3rd from 10 to 2 at the Firehouse. It's going to be called Breaking the Chains. This event is going to be, it's a recovery awareness event, but it's kind of going to be like a tribute to those we've lost. Joe and I are going to share about Wendy, which was his mom, who passed away last year on May 2nd. She died with 8 months clean. So we're going to talk about her. And then there's also another local family that I'm hoping will have the strength to speak. If not, then maybe they can write something up and maybe I can speak for them, whatever they decide. I just know that they want to speak. It'll just be a matter of if they're ready to or not. Also, we are collecting donations for the event. It can be anything. If you guys want to donate money or you want to send gift baskets or gift cards or really anything, the money that we raise at the event is donated to Midshore Restoring Hope in Women, which is a local nonprofit that we work with. And what they do is they help women get into sober living. So if a young lady calls and says, "Hey, I've found a recovery house to go to, but I need help," they help pay their entry fees and things like that. So um, that is the event. Also, for those who are not local, you still, if you would like to donate, you can still do so. I can send you their PayPal link and you can send some money over. Or we're selling T-shirts, and the T-shirts say "Breaking the Chains" on the front. On the back, they say "In Loving Memory." I have stock ones made that say "In Loving Memory of Wendy Hewitt," but you can also name change and all that good stuff. So when we get off, I'll post all the information for the T-shirts. Don't forget to join our Breaking the Chains community support group. Did I forget anything?
Nope.
All right,
Crystal said
guys.
she has 8 kids.
What?
Crystal said she has 8 kids and her youngest is 5 months.
Phew. Crystal is busy.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Crystal, I am one of seven. But I am my mother's only child, and then my dad has 7 kids. So, and a stepson.
Yeah, my uncle has 6, and I thought he was nuts. So
And you
8,
know,
a lot of respect for you because I couldn't imagine.
I can't wrap my head around it. It was so funny because when I went to the OB in Chestertown, the doctor said to me that your uncle kept him in business in the 90s.
Yeah, because they had them all like back to back to back to back to back. Like they just never stopped making kids. I'm like, all right, good thing for him.
Yeah.
Keep the
All right,
name, keep the
guys.
fame alive.
We hope that you have an awesome day. We probably won't be live again until next week, I guess.
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Don't forget also, I'll post the link to our YouTube channel. I have been busy this week uploading our videos to the YouTube channel. I've uploaded like 35 videos. So if you need a meeting and you can't get to one, feel free to pull those up. We talk about the Just for Today. There is some of the steps on there, and then other topics that we had, which also reminds me, if you have a topic you would like us to discuss in a live video, feel free to reach out and let us know what it is. We are open to anything except for the Suboxone Methadone debate. And We have a blog also. If you guys are into reading the blogs, I can share the link for that as well. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great Friday, and we will see you next week.
Yep.